Hi guys, welcome to Canada. So today I'm going to talk about housing markets and not exactly how the housing market or the prices will do in the future, but more of like a strategy and how we should think of mortgages and buying a house or buying houses. So I've been happy to come across seeing a video saying that buying a house is actually the worst investment that we could do in our life, in our entire life, right? So there are 3 points that this guy has talked about, and I've heard about these points often enough that I think that I should make a video to talk about it. So let me fix our camera, and you will see there's some bugs around because I'm in a backyard of somebody's house. So actually I'm thinking of coming back to live and for good because of my children. So if you don't know, we're pregnant with our third baby, and the baby is a girl. So I'm really looking forward to see my little baby girl. So anyhow, so that is something that is stuck in my head that I think I should talk about it, because any wrong move that we made or anything that we missed doing, it will really affect and haunt us back later, like 10 or 20 years in our lifespan. So by the time we want a house, we don't have house. When we need some money, maybe we have an option. At least we mortgage something to for our children's education, for ourselves, or retirement. Everything is about really the critical point is when you're in your 20s to latest in your 40s. Everything almost have to be done correctly. So there are 3 reasons that people are saying that we should never buy a house, saying that, oh, this is what we thought of the moment right when we have money, we should buy a house, and screw the rentals, we will just mortgage and buy a house, right? So some people really understand, but I'm surprised that recently the housing market is doing better, but there are still comments like that going on, just like if we were back in 2008 when there was a financial crisis, the subprime mortgage, right? So by that, so it is sort of like a psychological and this is a cycle thing, okay? So when we are in a bull market, when we lose money, we'll tie up the consequences with the facts, okay? So we earn money, then let's say we profit a lot. When we buy a house, we buy it in a good time, and everything goes well, then you suddenly become an expert in that area. So I'm not saying that I'm no expert, right? So I'm not expert. I'm just somebody who have lost a lot in the past and experienced a lot in the past 20 years. And that's the key, because in the past 20 years, there are basically 6 bull and bear markets. So I can see there's a trend in the housing market, but it's nothing personal, okay? So the first reason is that if you mortgage a house, but if you don't have money and lose your job, you are doomed, okay? So that point is valid. So if you don't have a job, there's really nothing we can do, right? So make sure you have a job, you have income, you have something to pay your mortgage. So just like the other story, if you have read the Rich Dad and Poor Dad, right? So he's saying that mortgages is actually liabilities, okay? So that is a point that I'm quite surprised, and recently I see that perspective is the author is kind of starting to change a little bit, because without that, how can people save money into something that will grow, right? Unless this property will not grow. So that goes to the second point. The second point is, man, if you lose your job, you can't pay your mortgage. That's it, right? That's good, okay? That's right, okay? But the second point is, oh, when happen to people, always your parents always tell you to buy a house, but boom, suddenly the housing market dropped like subprime mortgage, and even in the SARS period and the dot-com period, right? So the housing market, boom, like dropped like by 30 to 50% for like just 1 year or 2 years, right? So, oh man, then now you are suddenly mortgaging and returning the debts that the assets that you're holding has a lesser value than what you borrow, okay? So that is pretty doomed, right? Yes, that is because that's why I talked about in my previous video that we almost never appreciate that there's one trend that is happening every 5 to 10 years. But we are going after something that is constantly changing, that we can never get a trend out of it, okay? The trend is bull market and bear market, expansion and recession. That is always true because it's human. The market is full of human, and human is full of crap, okay? Sometimes we think that we are like top of the mountain, and sometimes we're like feeling like poop in grass, right? So that is bear and bull market. So if you kick into the housing market, even you buy an asset, very good asset, but in the wrong timing, you happen to lose money, okay? That is fact. Especially mortgages are debts, they're leverages, okay? But they're good debts, okay? So thing is, you should always buy a house no matter what. That is your lifetime, the first checkpoint on the list. If you want to make your 30s, 40s, or even 50s happier and healthier, so you should make this investment earlier. Unless you're living in a country that has no GDP, no growth, and people just leaving our country, right? The housing market, of course, is going down. That is something stupid to ask. But you're saying that that guy or those guys are living in United States, okay? So even that's not United States, you can always be open-minded in other areas like Canada, UK, China, whatever, right? As long as their economy, the housing market will eventually go up, okay? There's a case in Hong Kong. You know, Hong Kong is something like an island. So it's really for people and economic activities, right? So, and especially about like Singapore, people cannot move further and further away because the further away is the sea, the ocean, okay? So even a place like that, you can choose a point to buy an apartment that with a wrong timing is pretty far away from the subway. So that in that case, eventually the price went back up and hit the historic high again. But that took those people 20 years. So the timing and location is pretty good. That is another topic that maybe I've talked about, or I will talk about again, like some factors that how you should pick the house. So that is something that should appreciate. But if you're paying something, not mortgages, but to something like a car, financing a car, that is pretty much dead, okay? Those money is gone, okay? Mainly these are the main 2 points that you think of, and we should pretty much remember what we should do. And look at me, I'm nobody, right? Because I'm just, when I have money, I promise myself to break into two piles of money. First one, I'll invest, first half will invest in stocks, and the second half I'll invest in properties. So that's why I have something that can liquidate and something that is more not harder to liquidate, like housing, okay? So I'm now owning 4 properties in Hong Kong. So right now, 2 years ago, I just remortgaged one of the house that I have, and I have a little bit cash on hand. I invested in US stocks in 2015, and now, boom, late 2016 to now, and there's another 30% growth, which I have also talked about it in the channel, that you guys know which stocks I picked. And for short term, mid term, and long term, that's completely my strategy. I'm just being completely open of what I've been doing and what am I doing right now in investment, because I'm never sure that I will be right. But after 20 years of this experience, I'm more certain that I have a high chance to profit and high chance to be right in a longer time scale. Okay, so let's do the homework together and let's stick together. Maybe I'm wrong sometime, maybe I reminded you today, but later on, because of emotional and stuff, I'm going to do something wrong, then you can leave me a comments and remind me back. So we stick together and do something that's right, but not, you can choose not to buy a house, but if you have a house already, do not sell it. Because I have a seminar in Canada, like around 10 to 20% of people say that, oh, now I'm going to sell my house, right? No, don't do it, because we are in a bull market right now. At least there are 1 to 2 years more, but after that is a long bear market. So now you know the timing, and you can now plan whether I will just kick into the housing market with a smaller house below our means, below what we want, or we can save up more money, and we may have 3 to 5 years to save up, and then by the time next time the recession comes near the end, as long as we have 3 to 4 years of the purchasing power to pay up the mortgages, it is always okay to buy a house because there's no recession that lasts for more than 3 to 4 years. Okay, so there's all statistics, right? So at least I was doing that according to the stats, and I'm doing that according to what I've been telling you guys. So hopefully this new environment and new style of video, you guys will like it. So investing made easy. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.